In global geopolitics, power is measured not just by words or treaties, but by the tangible ability to project overwhelming force across borders and continents. Nations rise and fall on the strength of their militaries, and the perception of that strength shapes the world's balance of power. Advanced weaponry is more than defense. It's a language of influence, shaping alliances and deterring adversaries without a shot fired. The mere existence of cutting-edge arms can sway negotiations, reassure partners, and send a clear message to potential rivals. We are prepared, and we are watching. The arms race is relentless. Each innovation by one nation compels rivals to respond, fueling cycles of suspicion and escalation. This constant competition drives technological breakthroughs, but also heightens the risk of misunderstanding and conflict, as nations strive to outpace one another. The Cold War's mutually assured destruction doctrine kept a tense peace. Today, new weapons blur the line between conventional and strategic threats. Hypersonic missiles, cyber warfare, and autonomous systems add new layers of complexity, making deterrence more unpredictable than ever before. These next-generation systems consume vast resources and signal a nation's technological prowess. The investment is not just financial, but also political and scientific, as countries race to demonstrate their capabilities on the world stage. When Russia unveils a new weapon, it's not just about military might. It's a declaration of relevance and a challenge to the global order. Such displays are carefully orchestrated to capture international attention and remind the world of Russia's enduring influence. Such weapons alter diplomatic calculations, embolden allies, and intimidate foes, fundamentally shifting the strategic landscape. Every new missile or system introduced can tip the scales, forcing other nations to reconsider their own security and alliances. This enduring logic is the backdrop for understanding Russia's latest and most formidable creations, a reminder that in the high-stakes game of global power, overwhelming force remains a decisive factor shaping the future of international relations. On November 21, 2024, the war-torn landscape of Ukraine became the stage for a dramatic shift in modern warfare. The world watched as a new chapter in military technology unfolded, one that would send shockwaves far beyond the front lines. That night, over the city of Dnipro, a piercing, unfamiliar sound tore through the darkness. It was the arrival of Russia's RS-28 missile, a weapon never before seen in combat. This intermediate-range ballistic missile, shrouded in secrecy until now, made its explosive debut, lighting up the sky and signaling a new level of threat. The timing was no accident. The strike came just days after the United States authorized Ukraine to use long-range missiles against Russian positions. Russia's response was swift and unmistakable, a calculated show of force meant to send a message not only to Ukraine but to the entire Western alliance. By launching the RS-28, Moscow demonstrated its ability to strike deep into Europe with little to no warning. The missile's range and speed left military analysts scrambling to reassess the balance of power in the region. For the people of Dnipro, the attack brought terror and confusion. Sirens wailed as families rushed for shelter, unsure if this was the beginning of something even more devastating. For Western analysts, it was a stark wake-up call, a reminder that the conflict was entering a far more dangerous phase. What set the RS-28 apart was its payload. The missile carried 6 independently targeted warheads, each capable of striking a different location. This technology, known as MIRV, is typically reserved for nuclear arsenals. Yet here, it was used with conventional explosives, blurring the lines between traditional and strategic warfare. The MIRV system overwhelmed Ukraine's missile defenses, which were simply not designed to handle so many simultaneous threats. Interceptors failed to stop the barrage, and the city suffered multiple impacts in quick succession. The result was widespread destruction, buildings reduced to rubble, infrastructure crippled, and a population left reeling. Yet, crucially, the attack did not cross the nuclear threshold, keeping the world on edge but stopping short of total escalation. This was more than a tactical strike. It was a strategic demonstration of Russian resilience and technological innovation under immense pressure. Military planners across Europe and the United States took note, realizing that the rules of engagement were rapidly changing. The world saw not just an attack on Ukrainian soil, but a clear signal aimed at NATO and its allies. The message was unmistakable. Russia was willing and able to escalate the technological arms race, raising the stakes for everyone involved. With the RS-28, Russia unveiled a new breed of weapon, one that could bypass existing defenses and challenge the West's assumptions about military superiority. The debut of the RS-28 was more than a show of force. it was a warning. The rules of the game had changed and the world would have to adapt, or risk being left behind. The Oreshnik's power lies in its speed, range, and ability to evade defenses. As a hypersonic missile, it travels at Mach 10, over 7,600 miles per hour, leaving defenders with only minutes to react. Its range of 3,100 miles puts all of Europe within reach from deep inside Russia. This resurrects the threat once posed by Soviet-era missiles, but with far greater sophistication. The Oreshnik's 6 independently targetable warheads saturate and overwhelm missile defenses, making interception nearly impossible. Its design, based on the RS-28 Sarmat, incorporates advanced countermeasures to defeat anti-missile systems. Russian claims of invulnerability may be exaggerated, but the technical leap is real. The Oreshnik guarantees destruction by making defense futile, a true game-changer in modern warfare. It's a weapon built to restore the attacker's advantage in an age of high-tech conflict. After Oreshnik's debut, President Putin made a bold claim that such advanced weapons could render nuclear arms unnecessary, at least in certain scenarios. He suggested that Russia's new arsenal could achieve the same strategic objectives as nuclear weapons, but without the global stigma and catastrophic fallout associated with nuclear use. The missile's extraordinary precision and immense destructive power, he argued, could obliterate even the most heavily fortified targets, sites that, until now, would have required a nuclear strike to destroy. This leap in conventional capability challenges long-held assumptions about the limits of non-nuclear warfare. But this isn't a move toward disarmament. Instead, it marks a new era of strategic dominance, where the boundaries between conventional and nuclear war become dangerously blurred. The introduction of such weapons changes the calculus for military planners and world leaders alike. Now, adversaries are left to guess. Is an incoming missile a conventional warhead, or does it carry a nuclear payload? This uncertainty injects a new level of risk and confusion into any potential conflict. This ambiguity itself becomes a powerful psychological weapon, complicating the decision-making process for any nation considering a response. The mere possibility of nuclear escalation, even if unlikely, can paralyze adversaries and heighten global tensions. In this way, Russia projects immense power and influence, sidestepping the traditional nuclear taboo while still threatening devastation on a massive scale. The message is clear: Russia can inflict catastrophic damage without ever crossing the nuclear threshold. The official narrative frames Russia as a responsible and rational power, even as it quietly lowers the threshold for catastrophic escalation. This dual message is designed to reassure allies and intimidate rivals at the same time. By showcasing Oreshnik as a credible substitute for nuclear arms, Putin is raising the stakes of any future conflict. He signals to the world that Russia now possesses a new flexible tool in its arsenal, one that can be used to achieve strategic goals without resorting to nuclear war, but with nearly the same impact. Ultimately, this claim is not about restraint. It's a declaration that Russia has developed a more usable, more flexible instrument of overwhelming force, one that could change the nature of warfare itself. The Oreshnik's emergence sent shockwaves through Belarus. President Lukashenko quickly requested Russian deployment of Oreshnik systems on Belarusian soil, signaling deeper military integration and a direct threat to NATO's eastern flank. Over 30 potential sites were identified, turning Belarus into a forward base for Russia's most advanced missiles. This move shortens flight times to European capitals and forces NATO to rethink its defenses. Belarus's opposition called it reckless, sacrificing sovereignty and making the country a prime target. The deployment redraws the map of Eastern Europe, making Belarus an indispensable part of Moscow's military strategy. Alongside Oreshnik's debut, Russia quietly shifted its nuclear doctrine in late 2024. The new policy lowers the threshold for nuclear use, now including threats to the sovereignty of both Russia and Belarus. What counts as a critical threat is undefined, giving Moscow broad latitude to escalate. This extends Russia's nuclear umbrella over Belarus, making any strike on Belarusian assets a potential trigger for nuclear response. The change is designed to deter Western intervention and legitimize nuclear threats as part of Russia's strategy. Oreshnik blurs the line between conventional and strategic attacks, creating scenarios where the new doctrine could be invoked. The result, a seamless spectrum of escalation, from precision strike to nuclear exchange. It's a deliberate and dangerous rewriting of the rules of modern warfare. Russia's missile program in 2024 is a tale of two weapons: Oreshnik's success and Sarmat's failure. Oreshnik's combat debut was flawless, a modern, effective system that worked as intended. In contrast, the RS-28 Sarmat, meant to be Russia's nuclear deterrent, has suffered repeated, catastrophic failures. The Sarmat, a massive liquid-fueled ICBM, exploded during a test in September 2024, destroying its silo, one of several failed launches. These failures highlight deep problems in Russia's military-industrial complex. Quality control, manufacturing, and expertise are all in question. Only one successful Sarmat launch has been confirmed since 2022. The contrast is stark. Oreshnik is a symbol of innovation, Sarmat of decay. This duality complicates assessments of Russian military strength, revealing both formidable capability and significant weakness. It's a reminder that announcing a weapon is not the same as reliably fielding it. Sarmat's failures cast doubt on the true state of Russia's arsenal. Explosions at Plesetsk Cosmodrome suggest serious degradation in manufacturing and reliability. Decades of underinvestment, brain drain, corruption, and sanctions have eroded Russia's military-industrial base. The inability to field Sarmat undermines the credibility of Russia's nuclear threats and raises questions about its older systems. Meanwhile, Oreshnik's success shows some parts of the defense industry remain capable, likely those prioritized and well-funded. This inconsistency makes it hard to gauge Russia's true strength, a mix of innovation and systemic failure. Deterrence relies on credibility. Repeated failures erode that. The foundation of Russia's superpower status may be more brittle than it appears. Oreshnik's arrival marks a new, more dangerous era in global security. Its hypersonic speed, range, and warhead evasion challenge the strategic stability that's held since the Cold War. The missile blurs the line between conventional and nuclear arms, forcing nations to rethink doctrines and deterrence. The result, a renewed arms race with nations racing to develop both defenses and their own hypersonic weapons. Compressed decision timelines increase the risk of catastrophic miscalculation and rapid escalation. The key question now: how do we respond to a conventional weapon with strategic, war-winning potential? As of August 1, 2025, the future of warfare is being reshaped by Oreshnik, ushering in an unpredictable new